Hi YouTube friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm down here in the lower pasture near the hog pens below the dam for the upper pond around the lower pond. Now this pond here I had put in, these are mulberries. That's the setting. So today's goal is to protect my fruit trees. And how I intend to do that is by planting these mulberry starts that I got from someone in the community. And the idea is, and I don't know if this actually works or not. Sorry, I'm not frowning at you. I'm going to shade my eyes. The theory goes that mulberry trees, because they produce fruit all summer, will protect your fruit trees by virtue of being around so that they don't eat your fruit. Now I have one mulberry tree that's already growing on the property. It's actually right over there. That rather large looking tree just beyond the pond. And boy oh boy has that thing thrived. I planted it in what used to be the creek bed before this pond was put in, and I guess by virtue of the moisture it has just flat thrived. And in addition, the birds have kept it picked clean. I did not get to eat a single mulberry off of that tree in the, I don't know, 5 or so years that it's been there. So I'm kind of hoping, I'm really hoping that it's actually going to work. So this is a different variety. That one, store-bought. This one, thriving on someone's property in spite of the fact that it received no care whatsoever. So we like those, right? Stun method, sheer total utter neglect, and they thrive anyway. So that's my buddy right there. So I'm going to plant a few right around, going to plant a few right around here on the pond side of this electric wire, just to protect them a little bit and provide some shade, because I discovered that the small fish from the upper pond have found their way to the lower pond by, I guess, going through the culvert pipe or the drain pipe. And they have no shade except for that algae bloom that just started when the weather got warm. And I do have some pond plants that I'm pretty sure died out. Maybe a few survived. We'll just have to see. If they didn't make it, I have some in the house that I've been saving. So no more jibber jabber. I'm going to start digging a hole. A few holes. I'm going to put you on time lapse so you can watch the whole thing, because that's what you want to see, me digging holes. The tools that I'll be using today is this trenching shovel, which I found much easier to use in this hard clay. And just in case the clay is harder than it looks, this, guaranteed to go through any clay and the occasional small rock. I'm not actually sure what this is called. If you do, let me know. I call it useful. Let's get started. Okay, so that's 4 right along here where the water runs off the hillside here, and into the pond. I thought about putting some over here at the base of the pond, or the dam rather, but I think probably it's not a good idea. I really want to encourage grasses and brushy things to grow here. I don't want anything getting any ideas about growing upward next to that drain pipe and wrecking my dam. So let's go to a new spot. Okay, so I probably never mentioned, where's the sun? Oh, there it is. So I probably never mentioned that I just love birds and everything to do with them. So that's actually another reason that I'm planting these mulberries, is because I want to encourage as many birds as I can, and other wildlife for that matter, so long as they don't, you know, wipe me out. So speaking of other wildlife, this is a very young volunteer chestnut that sprouted at the base of a chestnut tree I planted from seed about 5 years ago, and it took a lot of damage getting it out of the ground over there growing under the other one, but I put it out here, set a leaky bucket on it so that it would slowly get a little bit of water and hopefully recover. And now it's springtime and it has gotten frost damage because it warmed up and then we had a good freeze, but it's now making new leaves and I'm really excited. I love my chestnuts. I've got a bunch of those to plant too, and but that's a whole other video. So let me get you all positioned. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plant mulberries along this fence row here to provide a little bit of a windbreak. Sadly, it will block that view of that field. It's really beautiful when it's planted in cotton, and right now, I don't know what that sea of green is, but sure does look nice. Probably ryegrass. Alright, so I'm going to put some right there, and in the gaps along this fence, right here at the top, between here and down towards the stand of dead cedars and that large cedar, and that'll probably wipe me out as far as mulberry seedlings go, but we'll just have to see if we have any extras. There's lots of places I can put them. So let me get you all set up in a good spot and see what we can see. The ground here, being high on the hill, is going to be much harder, so I anticipate using that, I don't know what it's called, thing, mattock. Maybe it's a mattock. Anyhow, I think I'm going to probably wind up using that thing, the pickaxe mattock thing, to get into the soil up here, because we're at the top of the hill and this is the driest spot on the property. All right. Alright, so that's a row along here. We got 1, 2, 3, 2 is there, 3, 4, and 1. Hello, bumbler. 2. That one's going to struggle. It's okay. 3. 4. It's hard to see. Here it is. And 5 right there. Whoops. And 6 right here. So that's 10 here, 4 down the hill next to the pond. And I think now my next location, I'm going to continue down this fence line that I just started, but run all the way back up to the end, closer to the house, and plant something right along that fence line to protect my shed from the sun, provide a little bit of shade. Wind is really not that big of a problem right there. All right, let's go. So I almost forgot, but I wanted to plant some down here too, on this side of the pond. One near that willow, next to that, I don't know what that is over there, but just a little something to make this pond area very, very shady. That's Snow White. She's a white Orpington. One of the quietest chickens we have. If you're living in a neighborhood and you've been thinking about getting chickens, Orpingtons are very quiet, very calm, and little busybodies. As you can see, she's always up to something, and they lay really pretty brown eggs as well. So by my count, that's 1, 6, which makes 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. How many did I plant down there? Oh, 18. That was a lot of trees in a little bit of time. And the next thing that I'm going to do, that I'm not going to film, because you don't want to see me do that. You might not have wanted to see me do what I did. But these plants need water. We had a good rain last night, but forecast says we're not going to have any more rain for a good while. So I'm going to go ahead and water all these in. Luckily for me, we have a pond. So the ones planted near the pond, I'll just take a bucket with me and fill up each hole. Now, because we have clay soil, I'm going to fill them up as good as I can, because that soil does not pack around the roots when you bury them in. So the water, by virtue of sitting there and soaking that clay, will soften it, and enough clay will settle to the bottom and make really good contact with those roots. So even if there are voids, each root should have access to moist clay to get a good start. Watching me get dirty in time lapse is probably not all that interesting, but the reason why I went through this is not because I want to eat mulberries, although I would like to once in a while. These are here to protect my other fruit trees. Thanks again for coming along. Hope you enjoyed it. I really appreciate you hanging out with me today, and have a great day. Bye. She's been hanging with me the whole time that I've been over here talking, filming myself talking. Orpington, get you some.